So here we are back in Hearthstone once again, a new Tavern Brawl this week. And this time we have spiders everywhere. Spiders have overrun everything, including your deck. Whichever class you play, your deck will be teeming with web spinners. So this week is a set of pre-made decks, as opposed to last week where you could build custom ones. I don't know the full deck list, just know that whichever class you play, your deck will be teeming with web spinners, as it says quite clearly here. So I'll go in here and I'll just pick a class at random. Say we can try Rogue. I haven't tried that yet. We'll give this a go and see how the Rogue deck looks. It is mostly web spinners, but you get some of your class cards dotted in here and there. Some of them can be pretty useful, some of them not so much. Our first opponent, a Priest then. I'm not kind of sure what cards he'll have from his class set. But we have Conceal here, which might not be so useful. So perhaps I'll replace this and just try and get another web spinner. As expected, another web spinner, not entirely unlikely. I'm pretty sure like at least 25 out of 30 cards are web spinners. What is this garbage? Why is this here? Well, let the web spinners begin, I suppose. Pretty likely we'll see the same from him. Yep. Coin into a second web spinner. Yep. I suppose his hand is just all web spinners then, similar to mine. So we have a pretty good advantage as a rogue because we can use our dagger to clear 2 web spinners for 2 mana. So I guess rogue in that regard is pretty good, and priest is less good because their hero power actually doesn't influence us at all. More web spinners from him. Saying that though, he can heal himself with his hero power, which could lead to failing the rush game on my side. So we'll just use the dagger here, another one of these. And I'll start killing here as well and get the random beast for myself. Starving Buzzard's not very useful after the nerfs. This card used to be 3 mana, I believe. It was rather ridiculous. So we'll just play some more web spinners. We do end up with a slight advantage because our hero power kills 2 of them, which is nice, but he might have got a random beast that's particularly effective, as opposed to our Buzzard, which probably not going to get played. Okay, he gets Raptor, sort of middle of the road. Standard 2-drop Raptor there. Cold Blood. So we could use this to kill the Raptor, but I'm thinking I might hold on to it to try and kill something a bit beefier when he gets another random beast. So we'll just dagger up again, kill another one of these. And I'm going to trade into this one as well so he can't kill and heal. Captain's Parrot and Core Rager. Boy, are we getting the garbage beasts. Well, this is not very useful. So we'll just play the other web spinner. And we'll go face here, I suppose. And he's certainly got the good variants on the beast so far because the 3 we've got are utterly useless. Core Rager is never going to get the buff because our hand is being refilled constantly by these web spinners. And obviously there are no pirates in this deck. More web spinners. No 3 mana beast, I suppose. He just opts to heal himself. Okay, that's fine. We can use the dagger, get some more value here. Getting 2 for 1 on each dagger cast helps us stay ahead of it. Trade here, try and get another beast. Hungry Crab, my god. Blizzard is out to get us this game. Well, let's just go Starving Buzzard, I suppose. Maybe we can draw with it next turn if he can't kill it. Although I suppose if he has any spells then he will. I don't know if Holy Smite is in the deck perhaps. And there's the hyena. Shadow Word Pain. Oh, he's going to sacrifice this now and get the buff on the hyena. It's definitely good for him. We don't really have any ways to handle that right now. We do have our own hyena, but we don't have any chargers to activate it. So I suppose the best route is just to load the board with beasts in the hope that perhaps next turn we can kill off a lot of these and get our buff on the Scavenging Hyena. Saying that, I don't know if the priest deck has Shadow or Death in it, so that could blow up in our face, but fingers crossed. No, my crab. Disaster. We can triple trade into here and get the buff on our hyena. But he'll also get the buff on his one. So there's not really a whole lot of way for us to avoid that, unfortunately. So this game's +1 health, it'll be at 4. So if we double trade here, dagger, and then cold bloods, that could work. So dagger's 2, 4, 5. Okay, let's try this then. So we'll trade these in just to get the beasts, see if anything useful comes of it. Corehound. I don't think we have any useful beasts this game so far at all, except for the hyena. It's rather unfortunate. Another one then. Owl is okay. We can cold blood here. Trade this and another web spinner. So we have a pretty beefy hyena here. I don't know if he has death or other forms of removal on his deck. I'm not familiar with the deck list for this week. But we'll soon see if he has any reasonable response to this hyena. Trying to get a random beast perhaps. Light bomb, okay. Well, that takes up most of his turn. And we get Malorn, which is rather nice. I think we'll just outright play that just now. And I suppose we can use the dagger charge, doesn't really accomplish too much, but we usually have mana to spare. So hopefully Malorn does a bit of work. I don't know if he has any more removal spells in his hand. We've already seen Pain and Light Bomb. Beast Sap Charge. It's not going to accomplish too much. No more Hyena to buff, which is nice. That could have been a nice combo. Unfortunately for him, it's not doing too much. So we have a Sharp Sword Oil, which is pretty nice. It's going to be 4 mana. We could just go all face here, if we think we have the board to back it up. I think perhaps just Sinister Strike and go for the oil. So we're pretty close here. I don't think there's any reason to spend the Eviscerate just yet. Although I suppose silencing this Tundra Rhino could be good. We don't want a disaster with like his own Malorn just charging us down. We'll just do that to try and secure it a bit. And there's a Resurrect on the very first beast that he got from the web spinner. Not going to do too much here. Oh, Shadow Forms in the deck. Don't think it's quite enough to kill Malorn unless he has something else in there. None of the beasts can charge, so he can't use them. Well, looks like that's it. Well played. Well, there you go, the priest deck seems to have Pain and Light Bomb. I'm not sure if there was anything else hidden in there. But it seemed like it definitely worked in our favour just to go face since we had the Sharp Sword Oil and the Sinister Strike. And we earned a pack as well, how nice, we can open that. Okay, let's try again then, we'll pick a different class this time. See what a Shaman can do. It's one of the most underplayed classes in usual ranks mode, I believe. Shaman and Priest, perhaps. We've already seen Priest from our previous opponent, so we'll go with the Shaman, see if anything interesting happens. And it's a Shaman opponent as well, the Shaman mirror match. So we have Reincarnate, which it's not very useful with webspinner, just gives us a random beast in the hand. 2 mana, draw a beast. I suppose it's not too bad, but I would rather just get more webspinners. This Bloodlust could be very useful later on. I want to bear in mind that he also has Bloodlust in his deck, and keep the board as clear as possible. Lightning Bolt could be good for killing an early drop beast, like a Bloodfen Raptor. So we'll just open with Web Spinner as well. Match him card for card. We'll hold on to the coin in case we get a higher drop beast at a later point. We can accelerate into that. Although our opponent being player 1 does get a slight advantage here. Haunted Creeper is a good beast to get. It kills web spinners very efficiently. Can kill 4 of them with 1 Haunted Creeper. So I'm pretty happy about getting that. Totem value for him. I don't think the spell power one does too much here. The only spell I've seen so far that does direct damage is the Lightning Bolt, and that outright kills web spinners regardless. So we can start clearing these with our Haunted Creeper, get some supreme value there. And I think we'll just play a hand of web spinners. I'm not sure playing Totem is too important here. You don't usually run out of cards in this format because of the web spinner drawing, so I don't think the Totem holds quite as much power. Although I could be mistaken. I haven't played enough of this format to really know. Timberwolf from us, that's fairly nice. Although the Spectral Spiders actually don't count as beasts. We do have the Bloodlust, which we can do a lot of damage with. So Bloodlust would give us 3, 6, 9, 12. Plus this is 16. We don't have any clean way to kill this. It would be 8 damage. Perhaps a Timberwolf's a good option then. We'll hold this for a little bit later. We'll just trade both of these in Bolt. We get ourselves a King Mukla, that's fairly useful. All the bananas work against us a lot in this format because he always has web spinners to buff. I suppose we can just clear his board and coin into our Mukla, leave him no minions to buff with the bananas. Also reduces the power of his Bloodlust, which is at turn 5 and he has no minions on the board, so he's not going to be getting anything out of that. I'm not sure if Lightning Storm is in the deck, although it seems unlikely. I haven't really seen too much in the way of AoE. Saying that, we did see Light Bomb, so I suppose it's entirely possible. And there's the Taunt Totem, more bananas. Bananas, but that was last week's Brawl. So we can't Bloodlust, which I would really like to do, but we're overloaded, unfortunately. So I believe we'll just play more web spinners. And we will actually totem this time as well, since our cards are getting short. So we can just kill this with Mukla, and we'll keep the Timberwolf alive, trade off the Spectral Spiders. Since they're not getting buffed by the Timberwolf anyway. This set us up for a nice Bloodlust next turn, depending on how he responds to this. Charger Boar. kills our Timber Wolf, which is the obvious move. So we could perhaps use this on Mukla afterwards, getting back to full health. I guess Bloodlust still doesn't actually do very much. Probably not really any point in playing it. Let's play the Rhino and the Web Spinner, I guess. Tried here, and that was a mistake. Should have used the Totem, but never mind. Restore him to full health. This is definitely looking in our favour, unless we see something like a lightning storm. But no indication of that existing just yet. Is a lava burst perhaps? No, Hex. That works too. Interestingly, the frog does count as a beast, so he gets charge. Although with 0 attack he's not going to be charging very much. Unfortunately our Timber Wolf's gone, so he doesn't get the buff. Although he is able to be buffed by Bloodlust, which is pretty nice. We may opt to use Bloodlust this turn actually. So we can use the frog to clear the totem here, try and spend the damage as efficiently as possible. We know this totem can soak up both of these web spinners, so with that in mind, we'll just go straight for the face, in true hunter style. More taunt totems for him. Taunts all round, delaying the game a few more turns. And there's the charger. Oh man, Totemic Mate. Best card. Look at that, +2 health in the Stoneclaw Tome. How can we win now? So we can charge some of these web spinners. Get some beasts in our hand, which is pretty nice. Although maybe just playing King of Beasts is good since we have so many beasts. Not very happy about letting this live, although I guess we can buff King of Beasts up to the correct attack level to properly kill it, so that's fine. Oh, we don't even need to. Yeah, I'm slow, okay. Not used to playing with Tundra Rhino, I suppose. Alright, well, the quest is Major Shaman, Shaman or Warlock, so I guess we'll try Warlock, finish off that quest. So our final opponent today then, Warrior. Sensed Demons. Are there actually demons in this deck? I don't know if this is going to do anything. I suppose we'll toss that away for now. More web spinners is always good. There we go, 4 times web spinner hand. We haven't seen any other minions so far in any of the decks, besides web spinners. So I'm not sure Sense Demon is going to get us anything besides the usual worthless imp card that you get when Sense Demon's whiffs. Twisting Nether. Well, it's a card in Do I Joy playing with, but not very viable in constructed mode. Maybe we'll see something of it here. Although it's the kind to sit in your hand unless you're desperately losing. Oh man, he's gonna crush us. Oh, Bloodfen Raptor is back. I think to that we just say, more web spinners. And he responds in kind. So we can kill the Bloodfen Raptor with R2, And the Silverback Patriarch, despite being a terrible card, usually actually defends us quite nicely here. And we get 2 Emperor Cobras, which probably isn't very useful. We'll hold on to the coin for now. I don't know if it's correct in this format. It might be correct just to coin into another web spinner, but I'm not very sure. Oh, Heroic Strike. So much for the Silverback protecting us. Yeah, greetings, greetings. Oh man, the web spinners are out in force. What can we do about this? Not a whole lot, actually. So he's playing our own ones, but he has more, and these cards are not useful. He's about to draw beasts as well, unless he chooses to go full face. Which might be an option, given that he can armor up and he can last longer in the long game. We get the Kodo, that's a nice one to have. I guess he's just fishing for cards to play at this point. Perhaps what he drew is not very useful, just a single web spinner maybe, or a spell that's not too relevant. Oh, Angry Chicken. Oh, 2 Angry Chickens. And a Captain's Parrot. Oh, you will certainly crush us with those. There's Demon Fire. It's a good one to have. We can snipe off one of the beasts with that. I guess we just go Kodo, get the free value here. It's a little bit slow, but it works. We're still on a high enough HP that we don't have to play too quickly. But he certainly did not get good beasts there. Very unfortunate for him. Warlock could be one of the weaker classes in this format because life tab really just doesn't do anything at all. Hand size is just not an issue. I just opt to kill the raptor here. Kodo's done some nice work, looks like he'll get a 3 for 1. We do have some follow-up options. Hold on to Demon Fire for now. Maybe kill something with it next turn, but getting minions on the board is too important. And there's Slam, he gets to draw. Can finish that off with a chicken or a web spinner. I'd had to imagine there's no way to get these to actually enrage. I don't believe there's any beast card that buffs the health of other beasts, only the Timberwolf that buffs the attack. He's definitely going for the board control approach here. There's a Core Rager. Doesn't activate, of course. We do have the Timberwolf, which lets our Bloodfen Raptor trade up into that, which I think is a good deal. He's not happy about that. Could be time to use the coin now to accelerate into this Cobra. If we got a high drop beast, say King Crush or Malorn, then our Cobra is pretty effective at killing it. I don't see any other time we'll get to use the coin here, so let's go right ahead and do that. There's the Owl, stops our +1 attack. And the Charge as well, which helps him trade up to the Tall Strider. It's not too bad though, he is running out of cards. Most of the beasts he got were complete garbage, so there's actually a big random element in this format. If you just get things like Double Chicken and Captain's Parrot, then you're probably not going to win. So I'll just trade here, no point sacrificing our Timberwolf, it's still a 1-1, it still does stuff. So we'll probably play 4, 5, 6 this turn, which means we can tap, get an extra card. Attack here, 1 damage, chip away at the armor.
Job's done. I will crush you.
He will crush us. Somehow I don't think so.
I greet you. I will crush you.
Oh, he literally will crush us. Well, some foreshadowing there.
That was a mistake.
So, we don't have much this turn, we'll just tap again, try and get something else. With the 2 demon fires. We can trade off one of these, try and maintain board control. I highly doubt he has Whirlwind. So, I suppose we'll get rid of one of these as well, get ourselves a beast, see if we get something to play. Tiger's good. And there's the Malorn. Fortunately, our 2-1 Cobra here is going to make quick work of that. Sense Demons returns. Suppose we'll play it, see what we actually get. Worthless imps. Well, they can be buffed with Demon Fire, it's not all bad. So, I do want to kill the Scavenging Hyena before Malorn, because he has a beast and he'll give the buff to the Hyena here. So I think we'll trade in for the double web spinners. There's another Cobra. Can replace the one that's about to die. And King Crush. We might see him again soon, depends when he draws. I'll trade this off eventually. Okay, so he has 1 random beast plus the card he just drew. Could be Malorn again, but given that he still has 16 cards in here, it's pretty unlikely. And we do have the second Cobra to deal with it in the case that happens. Start buffing these imps, I suppose. I don't imagine he has too much direct damage, so we don't have to worry about tapping too low. And I'll make sure to leave 1 space on the board so we can actually play King Crush. Turns out we don't need to. He gives up. And some nice gold from Quest there. 3-0. So we'll open this pack as well. Nothing too impressive. There you go. That is the Spiders Everywhere format. It seems this week is quite a bit of a random element. As we saw with the Warrior game, if you draw absolutely terrible beasts, then you kind of just fall out of the game. And the fact that I had things like the Kodo and the Emperor Cobra to kill off the Malorn just completely ruined it for him. Not to mention the cards that were in the Warrior deck weren't great. Something like a 7 mana Crush unfortunately sets you back quite a long while. So without seeing the full deck list for each class, it's kind of hard to say what's favoured. Some of the hero powers seem like they're not particularly useful. I know the Warlock one didn't really come into play until late in the game, and stuff like the Shaman one or the Paladin one probably aren't too relevant either, since your hand is fairly consistently full. Some things say like the Rogue one was particularly powerful because you can 2-for-1 web spinners with it. I'd say that in itself was quite strong, especially given that the cards that the rogue deck had in them also seem to be fairly good, with the exception of Sinister Strike. Stuff like Tinker's Sharkblade Oil is good because you almost always have minions on the board, and something like Eviscerate is always a solid card as well. So this format is sort of fun, I suppose. It's kind of underwhelming, really. There's not a whole lot happening. Perhaps in the future we'll see something like the Unstable Portal format as well, similar to how the class challenges worked. I think it's pretty likely, seeing that we've seen a webspinner one already. So until next week then, we'll just hold out hope and see if we get something that's a little more exciting. Although I guess the theme for Tavern Brawl now is just these slight variations. But perhaps one day we'll see something that's just completely out of this world. So I'll see you next time.